Hello, this is Will Brooks, and my mission is to make coding fun and easy to learn. In this video project, we will learn how to build a tribute page like this one. We will learn how to make your page responsive so it looks good on a computer as well as on mobile devices using Media Query. We will learn how to add a font family from Google Fonts. We will also create and style unordered list. We will also learn how to add an image using the Figure Element and Figcaption Element. If you're not sure what those are right now, stick around and you'll soon be using them in your projects. We will create a hyperlink linking our page to another page right down here on the right. And we will learn how to use the Blockquote Element as well as the Cite Element right here. We will add comments in both HTML and CSS. We will understand how to use rem, line height, max width, margin, padding, border, border radius, Google Chrome tool called Inspect, and much, much more. I have watched many coding tutorials and they've been good, but many don't explain why they're using certain elements and how they figure the correct number to center the block horizontally and or vertically. My goal in creating this project is for you to be able to not only learn what I talk about, but to be able to apply what you have learned when creating your own project. We are only using HTML and CSS in this project. We will first add the HTML and then go back and add the CSS. One other thing, I am using VS Code as my code editor and Google Chrome as my browser. So let's jump right in. Okay, the first thing we need to do is create a new folder. Let's right-click the mouse, click on New Folder, and let's call it Project 1. Next, we need to open up VS Code. I have it right down here. Let's open that up and let's expand that. We'll go to the Open folder right here and click on that. And then we're going to go to the right and click on Desktop. That's Project 1. Let's click on that. And then let's go down here and click Open. Now we got our new project open. Great. So now on here, let's open a new file. And we're going to call that index.html. Click on that. Great. And now we can get started coding. The first thing we need to do is create the head. Now, VS Code is great because it has lots of shortcuts. So I'm going to click up here at the top and I'm going to hit Shift and then the 1 key to get that exclamation point, hit Return, and boom, it's got the boilerplate. So if you want, you can pause the videotape right now. You can pause the video and you can copy this here, the doc type HTML head. The only thing we're going to change at the top part here from 1 to 8 is going to be, we're going to change the title. Everything else we're going to do inside the body here. And we're going to do the HTML first. And then after we put all the HTML in, then we're going to style it with CSS. So let's go ahead and change the title first. And we're going to call that Project 1. Project 1. Great. Okay, let's start coding in the body. The first thing we're going to put is the main tag. And notice how VS Code puts the closing tag right there. I'm going to hit Return. The main tag is important. Basically, it's like a container. It is a container that has all the main information. So everything that we do here for this project is going to go in between the main tag. The next thing I want to put is our title. And I'm going to hit Return here, space. And I'm going to use H1 for the title. And in my case, I am doing a tribute to Michael Brecker. So I'm going to use Michael Brecker as my title. In your case, I recommend anybody you look up to, you admire. It could even be your mother or your father. You can just put your mother's name or father's name up there and then the timeline of the important things that happened in their life. Okay, so now we have Michael Brecker as H1. Now I use a few extensions, and the extensions are right here on, if I click here on the left side, and the installed ones are right here. There are like 5 or 6. There are 6 right here. And I want to show you how I use Live Server so you can watch the project happen as you code. If you're using VS Code and don't have Live Server, you click on the left here, on this side here, and then search extensions, type in Live Server, and then it shall come up, and it's right here, the first one. So if I click on this, it's already installed. So I can uninstall it, but I already have this one. This is the one I'm using right here, Live Server. Look at it, it's got 17 million downloads. Oh my goodness, it's huge. So anyway, this is fantastic. So that's the first part. The second part is you have to activate it. Next, we want to go down here to Settings, all the way at the bottom left. Click on that, and then click on Settings, and then go up to the search settings. We're going to type in Live Server. Okay, and then scroll down, and notice right here in the middle, I have mine set to Chrome. So when I open up Live Server when I'm typing, it's going to go automatically to the Chrome browser. You could choose Firefox, Microsoft Edge, whichever. But I've chosen Chrome, so you definitely want to choose a browser to open your what you're coding into. Okay, and the next thing is then you have to activate it while you're coding, and I'll show you how to do that next. So let's X out of here at the top middle here, X out of there, so we get back there, and then let's go back up here to the top left, and then good. And so now, let me just minimize this a little bit so it's easier to see, and then open this up here. And then if you look at the bottom right here, right there it says go live. If we click on there, it'll go live. There's another way to do it. If you go back up here where it says index.html and right click, it says open with live server. So either way is fine. Let's go with go live first. And there it is. Okay, so now we have it. And what I'm going to do is if you click on the edge here on the right, and you can bring this in here, and then you can see it says Michael Brecker right there. And if you can click on the Chrome browser and bring that in there like this. Okay, so now let's say let's just close this. And so the other way to do it is go back here, right here, where it says index.html, right click, open with live server, and there it is again. So there are two ways to do it. You can do it that way as well. Great, let's continue. We're just gonna put a little line underneath that H1, and we're gonna use P to do that, make it a little bit smaller. And we're gonna just say the best tenor sax player to combine jazz, rock, and fusion. And period. Okay, now let's look there. See how it just kept going on and on? If I open this up, it looks great here, but if I want to have both screens on, it doesn't wrap around the screen. See, it just keeps going. It's really difficult to read. You got to go down to the bottom and move this back and forth, and we don't like that. So there in VS Code, if you go down again to the bottom left, click on the settings, and then go up to search settings. We're going to search for wrap because we want the code to wrap around the viewport. So the viewport's smaller, we want the code to come back. So let's scroll down here. The third one down, editor word wrap, and we want to turn that on. It's off right now. Default setting is off. So let's turn that on, and then that's going to wrap our text. So let's X out of here, and then we go back. Now you can see right here, the text has wrapped. It's perfect. And now look here at Chrome, and it says the best tenor sax player to combine jazz, rock, and fusion. Perfect. It does it automatically because we have live server. And let me just change this right here. Okay, great. So now we have the H1 and the P combined. Next we're going to do is we're going to use a figure element for our picture. So let's add the figure element next. The figure element is a container that's going to contain your image and your Figcaption element, they call it. Basically, description of what the image is, which is going to go underneath it. So now we need to add our image, and I'm just going to type in a VS Code shortcut IMG and hit return. So you can actually do the long way, which is the less than sign IMG SRC. Right now I'm not going to put the image in yet. I'm going to put the alternate image if somebody cannot see the screen or if the picture doesn't show up. It's going to be a description of what the picture is or the image is. I'll put Brecker playing the sax. Okay, let's put that Brecker playing the sax right there. And then I'm going to put in the Figcaption next. Now look on the right side. If you notice here that this does show up because the picture, I have nothing in the SR, so the source right here for the picture to link to. So now I'm going to put in the Figcaption, Figcaption, and then there, and then we're going to put the same thing. We're going to put Brecker playing the sax. I'm going to just copy that, Command C right there, and then Command V to paste. Okay, and then there we have that in. And notice how on the right side it showed up here again too, because that's going to be, if the picture is here, it's going to go right under the picture. So now let's go grab our picture of the saxophone. So I'm going to hit the plus here, and I'm going to type in Pixabay because I love Pixabay's pictures. They're free images and pictures you can use. Let me just make this bigger so you can see it better. I'm going to type in jazz. That's where I got the picture for our project that you saw earlier, jazz, and then hit return. You can grab any picture you want right now and look for the picture you want to use later just to have something in there. So I'm looking for the saxophone picture that I used, that I showed you earlier in the project. And let's scroll down here and let's see, where is my saxophone? Oh, did I miss it? I think I did miss it. There it is. Okay, let's click on there and then right click with the mouse and we're going to do copy image address. Okay, did that. Now I'm going to X out of here and I'm going to minimize this so it's a half screen. go back into my image source src equals, and in between the parentheses there, I'm going to put Command V or paste and have my picture there. There we go. Now you see on the right side, if I make this bigger, the picture's there, but it's huge. So I'm not going to style this until after we put in all the HTML, but I don't want that to be so large like that. So for now, I am going to add a width to my picture. So I'm going to go in here, space, and then I'm going to do width width equals, and then parentheses, and I'm going to do 100%. And there, you can see how it brings it down right like that. Hold on, let me go back. There you go. So by putting in right here width equals 100% right here, that means it's 100% of the viewport. So if I go to my Chrome browser and I make it larger, it's never going to get larger than the viewport. So if I even make it larger, it's just going to get as large as the screen is. If I make it smaller, it's never going to be too small or too large. It's going to be right, perfect fit right there. So we're going to keep that like that for now, but later I am going to take that out. And one other thing here is, now look at the bottom here, it says Brecker playing the sax. So Brecker playing, that is our Figcaption right here, Brecker playing the sax. And then you don't have the alternate ALT here because the picture is showing up. Okay, I want to show you another way that you can actually get that picture in there using a folder, adding a folder to the index.html. So if I click here, we're going to add a folder here. Now, I'm doing this after I completed the video because I wanted to come back and show you a different way to do this. So I'm going to click on here, new folder, and I'm going to call it images. Okay, so we have the new folder set up, but there are no images in there. And then what I want to do is, I'm going to click here to get us more space. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete the source we just did. And let's see, I'm going to delete it from here. And I'm going to go back into Pixabay and grab that image. And this time I'm going to download it. Okay, so the saxophone's gone. So let's go back into Pixabay. Let's go back into Google. And I'm going to type in Pixabay. You can use any picture you want. And let's type in jazz again. And I'm going to just open this up and go down until I find my picture. There's my picture right there. So instead of copying the address, I'm going to do free download here on the right side. Click on that. And I'm just going to keep it the way they have it specified there. I'm going to click download. I'm not a robot. Okay, good. And I'm going to download that right there. So now it's in my download folder. So I can minimize this again. And then I'm going to come back to the project here. And now I need to add that to my folder. My folder is right here, my image folder. So if I go down here on my Finder and then go to Downloads, it's right here. So I'm just going to click on that and then drag that into my Images folder right there. Images folder right there. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's close this. Good. So now I have the image folder in here. Now, what I want to do is I want to rename this. I want to make it simple. I'm just going to call it Sax, S-A-X. Oh, come on. Let's see. Let's rename it once more. Try it again. Rename, and let's see. S-A-X. Okay, so it's sax.jpg. So if I close this, there, it's in my folder again. Close that, open it. There, it's right there. Now, don't worry about the style.css. Like I said, I'm coming back after I finish the project. So this isn't here yet. If you're looking at yours, I didn't create this link yet. So don't worry about that. I just want to come back and show you a different way to create this image. So now we're going to go back to where our index.html, and I'll show you how you do this. I'm going to just make this a little bit larger here. So what you do is you go into where we copy and pasted that image address there. Now we're just going to put sax.jpg right there, the name of the image, sax.jpg. And when I do that, the image should be there. And let's take a look. And no, it's not there. See how it says it's not there yet? You know why? Because it is in a folder. So if it's in a folder, you got to start it with, let's see, you got to start it with images, the name of the folder, and then / images / because it's got to first it goes to here and then it goes in the folder. So with the images / sax.jpg, now it should be there. Let's take a look. You got to tell it it's in the folder. There it is. So you got to tell it it's in that folder. So that's another way to do it. If you, like, a lot of times if I have a lot of pictures, I want to put them, go back in here, and I want to put them all in this images folder here. But once you do that and you add it, you have to do images, that's the name of the folder, / and then the name of the picture, which is, or image, sax.jpg. So that's another way you can do this. During this project, like I said, I finished this project already, but during this project in CSS, I actually added that folder in there. So you may see it with the looking like this, down here like this, or you may see it with the address of the picture going back to Pixabay. But in any case, either way is fine. Okay, let's carry forward. One last thing I want to do before we move on is I want to add a comment in here because I do not want to keep that picture for the final run. I want to actually have a picture of Michael Brecker playing the saxophone. So I am going to add a comment, which is, if you're using VS Code, you can do command / and that'll be your comment right there, comment out. So you can do !! space, and then I'm going to put find picture of Brecker playing the sax. Find picture of Brecker playing the sax, and then you hit space, and then you hit / and the greater than sign right there. So you can see, if you look on the right side in the browser, that's not going to show up. It's in green too, if you can see right here. That's basically a comment out. That's if somebody's reading your code, they'll say, okay, he put a comment in there. There's a reason why he put a comment in, so I don't forget later to change that picture. Next, I want to add the section element, and let's put that in right there. Okay. And in the section element, in between there, we're going to have the unordered list, our list, and our block quote. First, let's add an H3 here, and then use the shortcut with the return. Okay, H3, and we're going to put Michael Brecker's timeline. Okay, and you can see on the right side, it immediately shows up right here on the browser, Michael Brecker's timeline. Now, we're going to center all this. We're going to do all that in CSS. Right now, we're just going to put it in our HTML. Okay, next we need to put our unordered list. So let's do that, UL, and then let's go down here, and then we need to put in our list. I'm going to put the first one in, then I'm going to show you a shortcut you can do here. So there's LI. Now, it's going to be an unordered list, so it's going to have bullet points, which I want. And first, I'm going to put in a strong tag, and that's inline. So basically, that's going to have the year, and I want that to be stressed. That's why I have the strong tag. You can see on the right side here that you see how it's kind of bolded right there with the strong tag. And then after that, I want to put what we're going to put for what happened in 1949 in Michael Brecker's life. And he was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, great. And that should show up there on the right side, and it does. So let's look at this. Let's look how it looks right here. Down here, Michael Brecker's all the way at the bottom, 1949, born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's minimize that. Now, I want to show you a neat shortcut that you can do. So I'm going to increase this here so you can see it. So if I go back here, and I'll show you how you can do a ton of these all at once. I have 14 more list items that I need to do, and if I did it like this, it would take a long time. So VS Code has a great shortcut. You just put LI and then the asterisk, like the time sign, the asterisk, and I've got 14 more. I'm going to put 14, so LI asterisk 14, and then I hit return. Boom, it all comes out like that. Isn't that fantastic? Now, I'll show you something even more interesting. So now I want the cursor to duplicate the cursor all the way down because I want strong tags all the way through here. So if I hit Option, Command, and then arrow down, I can hit the arrow down, keep going on the arrow down all the way till I get to the bottom. And then I got to see the cursor going all the way down there now. Now if I type in STRO and hit return, boom, I've got all the strong tags. Now all I need to do is type in the dates, each one here, and that saves me a lot of time. Now if you don't have that, you can always copy and paste going all the way down. You know, I have 15 lines. There are 15 lines in my timeline for Michael Brecker, depending on how many lines you decide to have. And then you can always just, delete and then add whatever information you want to put here. I forgot to mention, if you're not using a Mac, you can do the Shift-Alt-Down do the same thing, Shift-Alt-Down. And then also the other thing I wanted to show you, let's say you want to put your cursor in lots of different places. It's not just like directly down like this. All you have to do is do the Option on the Mac, and then click the mouse anywhere you want to go. I can click it here, I can click it up here, I can click it here, I can click it here. So Option, hold down while you're clicking the mouse. Now, if you do that with the with Windows, you can do Option or Alt click. So Alt click will do the same thing. So now I'm going to just complete this timeline with all the information in here. No need for us to waste precious time watching me do that. I'll do that and I'll be right back. As you can see, I finished typing in the timeline. Let me open up the code first. Take a look at that. As you can see right there. Oh, let me slow it down a little bit. We've got your UL right here, unordered list. And then all your LIs going down here, and basically Michael Brecker's timeline, the different dates and what happened during those dates. And then we have the UL over here, the closing tag there. So let's go take a look at what it looks like for now without any styling. And so, okay, at the top again, we have the Michael Brecker, and then right there, Michael Brecker's timeline. We're going to style this later. We're going to center everything, make it look all pretty. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. Now, what I want to do is I want to add the block quote next. So we're going to go down here where the UL is, and then hit return, and then I'm going to hit the less than sign and do block quote. And then let's use the greater than sign there, and then we're going to go like this. Now, in the block quote, what we're going to do is we are going to put a cite in here. It's a CITE. We're going to cite where the quote is coming from. So we're going to put an equals and then this. Now, this is not going to show up on the page itself, but if somebody looks here, they'll know where the quote's coming from. Where there also is a cite element, which is going to show up on the page, which I'm going to use in a second. But first, we're going to put the cite. So we need to go grab where this quote came from. So I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to go into Chrome, hit the plus, and I'm going to type in Michael Brecker. Now, of course, if you're using it to somebody else, you would type in who you're looking for and find a good quote that you want to use. And I'm going to scroll down, and it came from here, Jazz Fuel. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click up here and highlight that, right click, and I'm going to copy right here, copy the address, and then I'm going to go, let's get X out of there, go back here, and under the site, I am going to paste it in there. Okay, so that's where it's coming from. And next we need to put in the quote, and the quote, I'm going to use a paragraph. So I'm going to do P like this, and then I'm going to go in here and grab that quote and put it in there. So let's see, let's find it. Here's the quote I want to use from Chris Potter, and let's put this whole thing in here, and let's copy, and then let's paste that right here, the quote. I'm going to put it in the paragraph tag, and let's paste it right in there. There we go, perfect. And then I'm going to use the, like I said, the cite element. So the cite element, we are going to do CITE and greater than, we got that right there. And in the cite element, I am just going to put the author of that quote, which is Chris Potter. And in the cite element, that's actually going to show up in our browser, and it's going to be italicized. So let's go take a look at that. And that is the block quote. So the block quote contains basically a cite here, which takes us to where the quote comes from. The quote we put in the paragraph, and then we have the cite, Chris Potter. So let's X out of here and go back and look at our quote. There we go. So if we look all the way down at the bottom here, you see the quote right there, and then Chris Potter down there is italicized right there. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Okay, and the last thing we want to do is we want to have a link that's going to go to Michael Brecker's Wikipedia page. So we're going to do that next. Okay, let's do the last thing here. Let's return here, and we're going to do H3. I'm going to do the shortcut for H3 right there. Hit return. And then here, we're going to put, let's see, right here, to read more about Michael Brecker, go to his, and then we're going to put a space. And then right here is where we're going to put the A tag. And then we should be able to see HRE, and then there we go. And then right here, with a little shortcut, AHREF is going to be the link. The link is going to go in between the quotes right here. So we need to get that link to put it in here. It's going to link to his Wikipedia site. So let's go here to Chrome, hit the plus button, and I'm going to type in Michael Brecker, which is right there. And there it is, Michael Brecker Wikipedia. Click on that. Go all the way to the top, and I'm going to hit right click and then copy. Let's go back in here, and I am going to paste it right in there. Great, and we pasted it in there. Now, I'm going to hit space here, and another thing we need to do is do target. Now, target, what the target does is, when you open, if somebody clicks on that link, we don't want our link to close. We want our tab to stay up there as well as the Wikipedia tab, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So target equals, but this is very important, and then we're going to put BLANK, and then that should be good right there. And then we're going to put, let's close that, and then we're going to put Wikipedia entry. And then the last thing is we're going to put the period right here because we don't want that highlighted. So that should do it. Now let's take a look and see what that looks like. First, let's look at it on code, make it bigger so you can see it. So right now we have the H3 right there. Okay, H3, and inside there we have the A tag, which is going to be the link. That's the link tag. So basically, it's going to be to read more about Michael Brecker, go to his, and then it's going to show Wikipedia entry. That's going to be highlighted. They can click on that, and then we have the target in there, so that'll keep that our tag still, our link still open. So let's take a look at our code. So if we look at the bottom of the browser, it says to read more about Michael Brecker. Look at the Wikipedia entry. It's a different color and it's underlined. And the period is not underlined because we have that outside of that area. So if we click on here, we go to the top, there we go. It opens the Michael Brecker Wikipedia page, but it also keeps our project page. We can go back and forth. We can tab to the Michael Brecker page. We can tab to the project page, all because right here on the left, we have that target right here. We put that target equals blank. Fantastic. Okay, so let me open this up. And next thing we do, that's it for HTML. We're going to use CSS to style this. It's going to look so good. But I'm going to take you step by step through this, and you're going to be able to not only style this, but use what I teach you on to styling this and use it in your other projects. I'm very excited. So CSS coming soon.